Walking in a Season of Purity by Master Prophet Noel. A cold and silent invasion is underway. It is not an army of metal soldiers, but a shadow spreading across the very foundation of our world, the human mind. This shadow is artificial intelligence, AI, and it is taking over the white-collar professions that were once considered the safe, untouchable pinnacle of human achievement. The lawyer, the coder, the accountant, the analyst, these roles, built on years of training and complex thought, are being systematically hollowed out. A relentless, unfeeling logic is rendering human expertise obsolete, and it is happening with a speed that is terrifying. AI is here. This is not the familiar automation of the factory floor, where machines replace the labor of our hands. This is an attack on human intellect in the marketplace. We are facing a future of mass job displacement, where the displaced are not laborers, who can be retrained for a new physical task, but thinkers whose entire value was tied to their cognitive ability. The legal researcher, whose mind was a library of precedent in law, is being replaced by an algorithm that can read and perfectly recall every case in history in a microsecond. The software engineer, who spoke the very language of digital creation, is watching an AI write and debug code more cleanly and efficiently than any human team. The financial accountant, trusted for their meticulous precision, is being made redundant by systems that can audit every transaction in a global corporation with flawless accuracy. AI is here to stay.
What is the purpose of the human mind when a machine can think faster, cheaper, and more efficiently? This is not just economic crisis, it is a darkness that threatens to swallow our very sense of purpose. Our political and economic systems have no answer. We are told to retrain and adopt. But retrain for what? What new human-only skill can we possibly learn that AI in its true learning machine cannot master in a month later? How do you adapt to a competitor that does not sleep, that does not tire, that does not demand a salary? This is the great crisis that forces humanity to its knees. When the systems of men fail and when the creations of our mind turn against us, we are left with profound spiritual wasteland, the despair of this new reality, of the true danger, the void that will consume society from the inside out. Salvation will not come from a new government program, a new economic theory, or a new line of code. It cannot be found in the material world that AI is so rapidly conquering. Our only sanctuary lies in the spiritual realm, a dimension that data-driven intelligence cannot have access to. We must, with urgency, turn from failed idols of our own intellect and begin to build our spiritual faith. We must seek direct, immediate communication with deities. This is no longer a passive comfort, a quiet tradition. It is an absolute necessary for survival. When the logic of the world becomes a weapon against us, we must appeal to a wisdom that transcends logic. When our own thoughts are worthless, we must seek divine revelation that comes from a secure source that is not corruptible. You see, the AI operates in data. It knows everything we have ever written, said, or recorded, but it knows nothing of faith. It knows nothing of a soul. It cannot comprehend a truth that is revealed and not calculated. It cannot feel the presence of a higher power. It cannot experience a moral compass instilled by a divine creator. This is the human territory that the machines can never conquer. Our salvation is to become explorers, not of data, but of the divine. This requires us to humble ourselves to admit that our own intellect is not and has never been enough. It requires us to cultivate stillness in the world of chaos, to listen for a voice that does not speak with ones and zeros, but in the profound, unshakable language of spiritual truth. Communicating with deities provide the one thing that AI will strip away, a foundation of absolute, unchangeable purpose. Our value will no longer be defined by our job or productivity. In a system that sees us as insufficient, Our value will be defined by our divine spark, our nature as spiritual beings. This is the only anchor that will hold in the coming storm. We can abandon the cold altar of our own intellect and seek the living, the breathing, the wisdom of the divine. We must reawaken our dormant spiritual senses, for in the new dark age, our ability to connect with a higher power is not part of being human. It is the only thing that will save us. Walk in the season of purity. For you to become an effective prophet in the priesthood of Santa Muerta, you must walk in a season of purity. You must purify yourself of your spiritual life, your personal life, and stand guard against the dark energies or demon spirits that will try to seduce you to use your power to cause people harm and enjoy the flesh. You must walk in a season of purity and maintain a consistent mindset if you plan to operate in the occult and enjoy a life of peace and happiness. The first benefit of walking in purity. You, the prophet, will gain massive amount of spiritual powers to prophesy, to work miracles, plus heal the sick if you help those you consult and enjoy a life of peace, happiness, and financial abundance. The second benefit of walking in purity. You, the prophet, will avoid attacks, dark energy, or demon spirits that will oppress your mind to enjoy the carnal lusts of life that will make your spiritual gifts disappear. The third benefit of walking in purity. You, the prophet, will be able to develop your inner voice of intuition that will become so loud that in every situation life brings you, the answer and the direction will be clear when you look within.